And I'm going to twirl down, go to my audio, waveform. Now look, this is just 25 seconds, but look at how many syllables there are. So what you got to do is you got to open your waveform. Okay, this is quick. So right there, you'd be like, O. So you would do your O shape, O. Do the K shape, A, and then So just that one word, you'd have like 4 different visemes, like okay. You understand? Yeah. So that's why you want the bounding box to be the same size, so that you're just alternating those sounds with this. So your head would be its own precomp, and the head would be a precomp, and then your visemes, you would switch them out almost every frame or 2 frames based upon how long the vowel sounds sound. Okay, there's a quick test to make sure. So that would be several visemes in that one section. Yeah, so the visemes are the same size bounding box that you parent to the head, which is its own precomp that will be parented to the body, so that no matter what your character's doing as it moves, the head will be parented to the body, and the visemes will be parented inside the head precomp. And you know how to swap out your files, right? This will be the workflow, just that you're not messed up. We have it completely. So let's pretend your mouth is 200 by 200, okay? And I'll call this OH, like O. And, I'll hit okay. All right, so here's our viseme. I'm just gonna grab an ellipse, give it a solid fill. And we'll pretend this is the letter O, all right? Now, I have to make sure my bounding box is the same, so that means all my precomps will be the same. So I'm going to duplicate it in the project panel, and I'll call this one K. So I'm going to double click to open K, and this would be where my K viseme shape is. And you gotta make sure your viseme stays inside the bounding box and it lines up where you want it to be. You know what I mean? So we'll pretend this is the letter K. So O-K, all right? Go back here, call this main animation. All right, so here's your scene. Here's your character. Move them down a little bit. Okay, then the new precomp, we'll call it head. So here's the character's head. Okay. Okay, one moment. I'm still... So here's your character, here's the head. Scale down here. Okay. The head precomp will be parented to your character's torso or neck. So I'll call this character neck or torso. Okay, that's going to be parented there. Then inside the head is where you're going to have your visemes. Let's just say the O sound. You're going to want your audio in this layer. So I'm going to grab it, paste it, put it at the bottom. And again, you got to make sure you've got your waves. Here's where the O starts. So I'm going to snap that with my bracket that looks like the letter P, like the one next to it. And that'll be for like 1 or 2. I could split duplicate it. So this is important. I'll go for like a couple frames and I'll split duplicate it again. All right. So this duplicate right here in the middle, I can grab my K. Remember, with this selected and this selected, if I hold down Alt or Option, I can drag it out. So now it's OK. Got it? okay. And you got to line that up for every syllable. So that's why I split duplicated so that the bounding box stays in the exact same spot. And then I'd split the next sound and I'd grab the next viseme I need. And, you know, you just hold down Alt, make sure that's selected, and swap it out. So you'd have all your different vowel sounds and you would just swap them out as each vowel is being as each consonant is being sounded out. Okay? So split the layer and then do the swap so that your bounding box stays the same. Because if we go over here, let's see, where's our main animation? Right here. Make sure you turn off the head. You know, I mean that in the head. So you'll have the mouth moving parented to the head pre-comp. And even if your character is, let's say, P for position, here, and then they move over here a little bit. Okay, there's a quick test. See? The head is pre-composed. It's parented to the character's neck or torso. Your visemes are inside that pre-comp head. So you can animate your characters and do your visemes last because the head will follow the motion of the character. And then you just go into head pre-comp and line up your visemes afterward. Got it? That's the workflow. All right, and then new project, new comp. Okay, we'll call this main animation. Now you've got the car body on its own pre-comp, right? And is the car moving back and forth in the scene, or is it stationary? Okay, so we'll just make the car, you know, here. All right, we'll pretend that's your car body, okay? What we're going to be doing is faking raindrops on a car. All right? So first I'm going to do a solid, layer new solid, because the particle's going to go there. I'll call it particles 01. So I'm going to throw particle world on there. And we'll just find something that looks like rain. And here's why. Let's pretend this is what we choose, okay? I'm gonna move this off the screen. So see what's happening? It's all the way up there off the screen. We're gonna use the grid as a floor to create the bounce, all right? So here we go. That's why we're gonna have multiple particle systems. Like the first grid will be here, the second grid will be there, and the third grid, if this lines up, it'll be there. You know what I mean? But you might need one for here, there, and there. If you want to get fancy, you could have them shooting off the windshield. You know what I mean? All right, so we'll pretend that's our particles for the rain. Then we go to physics, floor, and as I move this up, and for render, we'll do bounce. Under animation, let's try particle. Okay, so what I did, particle visibility after floor. So you're only seeing it bounce off the car at this point. Got that? So we could dial down our velocity and we could dial down the resistance. The gravity too, probably. Yeah. And then, you know, like the color of it would be under particle. Like if your rain is white or gray or whatever that is, you would just match it up. And I could also, this is too wide, you know, so that's under my producer. I can dial in that radius. Let's see. You're going to want the Z to be 0. So this is like the smallest we can get it for this one particle system. Let's see. Okay, like that. That's, you know. Let's see what it looks like at 100%. Yes, that's what we got so far. Okay. And then you would just duplicate that particle system, Command D, in your timeline. Come on. Oh, there we go. And I would move it to where the next part of the car that's going to have the rain bouncing off it is. And then make sure the floor behaves properly as well. We could also try, let's try a mask. I'll mask that section. I'll choose subtract. Why that's not subtracting? Let's try. What would happen if I shrunk this? Just curious. Shrinking it helped a lot. And then you can try a different particle size, but I mean, look at that. It's behaving much better. So let's try on my first particle system. I'm going to increase the gravity on it in the physics because I'm going to see if greater. Just white. Because it's got to have a little bit of bounce. Like, can't go too high. Like, you don't want it flying all over the place. Then it just looks like rain. Now the extra. Let's try increasing the extras a little bit better. Oh, here we go. Bounciness. Bounce spread. Let's decrease the bounce spread. That's looking a little better. And then what we could do is let's try. No, what I'm gonna do, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, I'm gonna go to my opacity map and I'm gonna get rid of the fade off and on by, you know, just penciling inside. There we go. That's better right there. I mean, maybe we could have a fade off. A little bit, you know what I mean? And then another thing we could try is the depth size. So we got lines. Let's see. Oh, it's, why is it not letting me do a particle size? Oh, because it's a line. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, that's not half bad just for like a short amount of work. You know what I mean? I'll send you that for reference. I'll leave all my settings up so you can see them. Oh, I scaled the particle layer. It could just be velocity. It could be the bounce settings I used. You know what I mean? So what we're doing here is we're going to do a leaf in After Effects as a custom particle system going below the car. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make your custom particle, which is going to be 200 by 200, or a maximum of 400 by 400, but leaf we can get by with 200 by 200. Yep, and we made 200 by 200. So the leaf can be any style you want it to be to match your artwork. And here's where you're going to be lucky with that. I'm going to do vein going up this, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. We'll pretend this is your leaf, okay? Now, and let's just pretend that you have texture on it. It'll look better. So let's go layer, new solid. You have to have your timeline selected to do that. Sure, because we're going to do fractal. There's fractal noise, throw that there. We're just giving the leaf a little bit of texture. So let's crank up the contrast. And let's shrink it down a little bit like that. Okay, fine. And I'm going to use the shape of the leaf as an alpha matte. So this should be above. So I go to my track matte. I choose the layer that's going to be the matte. And then I'm going to duplicate that leaf body because I set it to none. Oh, wait a second. Where's the leaf? The leaf's over here. This is the leaf body. And I'll call this one fractal. So the fractal's using the leaf body as an alpha matte. You're good there, right? I'm going to duplicate my leaf body, put it below, and now my fractal I can use as a blending mode. Let's try luminosity. Oh, I gotta turn this on to see it. There we go. And I'll give it a pretty fall color. And I'll make the stem black. Okay, there's our gorgeous fall leaf, okay? And I'll name this leaf. All right, so here's your scene, and we're going to want it to be buried back. I'm going to hit the eyeball icon to hide it. Save. Now we're going to put in our particle layer. So I'm going to go layer, new, solid, leaves, and you want it to be make comp size, you know. There we go. And we'll throw CC Particle World on it. Right there. Okay, great. Now, I'm going to want the leaves blowing from right to left. So my producer, I'm going to... And I hit it. Then I made a new layer with a new particle system. No, it's a solid. It's a solid. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try affect camera. Don't want to rotate that way. Let's try rotate Y. Nope. It's going to be rotate Z. See how now it's going in the direction that I want it to be going? That was under Effect Camera. I rotated it 90 degrees on the Z with the normal explosion, because that's going to be fine for this. Down at the bottom under Extras. Extras, Effect Camera, rotate Z 90%. Okay? So, position. We rotated it. Got it? See how we got to figure out it's Z because we rotated. I'm going to move this off screen. Like I said, to about there-ish. Now I'm going to up my radius. Yeah, I want a really big Y. That's what we got, okay? Make sense so far? So now we add in our leaf, which is under particles. So we go to particle. Now, which one will we use for the leaf? And this is a trick question because I've only talked about it a couple times. If we do textured disc, the leaf will be rotated randomly through the particle system. If we do textured square, the leaf will all be facing the same way. Textured disc will do that for us. Save you some time, got it? So we do textured disc, so each particle is facing a different direction. Go to texture, and that's where we choose, your particle system. I mean, the one we made. So this is already looking pretty decent. Opacity, the leaf will not be fading off or on, so I'm going to do that. Maximum opacity, 100%. Size variation, 100%, so that they're all different sizes. Got it? Additionally, birth size, death size, we'll keep those, they're not going to shrink. You want them to be the same size. So whatever size leaf you want, make sure it's the same. Yeah, if you want to do that, that's perfectly fine. This is fall colors. You're correct. You're not lying there. Longevity. If I crank up the longevity, if I shorten the longevity, let's see something. I'm going to make it a little bit longer. Okay. Yeah, so we got, and you could have the leaf, you could have the road hiding it, or you could have them blowing across the road. Either thing would happen, So you just put that wherever you want your layer stack, and there's your leaf particle. And you see how when you give something detail, even when you shrink it, the detail's there. So that fractal noise that we did, look at how much life it gives that leaf. Whereas if we're just a geometric shape. Things like that are what's going to make your work stand out and help you get your foot in the door on job interviews. It's going by, let's see what happens if we did motion blur on top of that, just for the fun of it. You can even do some motion blur on the particle if you want. It's all up to you. Yeah, and then under extras, again, random seed. If you don't like this, adjust your random seed and you'll get a completely different look. You know what I mean? That's why I'm the teacher.
I was thinking of maybe adding fog.
Well, you never know, I mean, if you did fog, just do like some fog in the background, maybe a little fog in the foreground, and it might be a little too much. It might not be enough. You know what I mean? Like, if I were to do fog, I would use the cloud that I gave you, the PNG, and you know how to do that, right? Just here's what's to watch out for. You're going to do the same thing here, but instead of textured disc, you're going to want to do texture faded disc because you need soft edges. Okay, that's number one. Number two, max opacity. That's going to be really low, like maybe between 2 or 5%. That's what's going to make it read as fog instead of a thick cloud. You do those things right, and it'll look pretty good. And it will give that extra motion and that extra play through your headlights and stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah, also,
You know what I would do? Pre-compose. So we had your headlight you drew and then a Lumimat over top of it. Pre-compose both of them, then put the glow on it. Try that. And also, don't forget, glows are light effects, so you're going to want to be at 32 bits per channel. Right now I'm at 8. In your project panel, you hold down Alt or Option, and you click on until you get to 32. Yeah, it's really neat that the motion blur worked and everything is coming together. I'll send you this new file. I'll call it Leaves. Outside light. So you wanted to go beyond it. Did you change the radius?
oh, never mind. Yeah.
Okay. So then you were calling me a liar. Yeah, but it's all these little things. Like I said, you do little by little, and you're like, Oh, okay, I got the rain bouncing off the car. What if we add some leaves? Okay, maybe I'll do some fog. You're just doing it piece by piece by piece and looking at that rather than overloading yourself with all that. I'm going to put a solid behind here just so we're not looking at the grid all night. Okay, so there's the thigh, and we'll pretend that the top is rounded off, okay? I mean the bottom. You good with that so far, Brandon?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to parent my calf to the thigh and my shoe to the calf. So we'll pretend that's the part that is where the calf starts. Now I'd grab this part as the, really? Okay, this is starting to get annoying. The calf, let's... We'll just do it sloppy instead of clean. That selected. Nice. It keeps... So we'll pretend this is your calf. We would round this out as best we can. That. And the shoe would be... that part, and that would be rounded. So if you do it this way, now set our anchor points. Put that there. That's thigh, okay. So the shoe's gonna go there, you know, where it's gonna... Calf will be where it meets the knee, the thigh. It's going to be where it meets up there. So I did this real sloppy, but if you do this type of rig, see how much more foot rotation you can get?
Yeah.
And then that's still going to work like that. And the whole thing's still going to work because the thigh is parented to the hips, calf is parented to the thigh, the shoe is parented to the calf. So I'll give you this for reference. That help? All right, so we're going to create a swinging chandelier. Yep. So I'm going to pretend this is the part where it meets the ceiling. And I'm just going to put the anchor point there. It doesn't really matter. Then there's going to be a chain and then the light. so we'll pretend this is the chain. And yours is Photoshop, right? So it's going to be pixel-based, not vector-based. So that's why all my solutions I'm trying are going to be as if this is artwork in Photoshop. Got it? So I'm not going to do anything with paths. Okay, we'll just say that's the chain. Let me just shrink this a little bit so we have room for the light. Okay, and now I'll draw the light. Clearly it's not going to be as ornate as yours, but... Oh, and I'm going to put the chain, you know, where it meets that. You know what I mean? All right, and then lastly, the light head. It's just going to be like that. I know yours has a stroke, but we'll give it a different color just so we can see everything visually. Okay, here's what we got going on. Now you want this to be swinging, so I'm going to parent the chain to the mount and the lamp to the chain, okay? So if I swing the chain side by side, this is what's going to happen. So that will work, all right? Oh, and clearly you're going to want that to be where that meets that. All right, so this first quick test has that motion. That's the initial test. So let's try... Let's see what we can do with bend. And I'm going to try something. If I do this and that. Okay, I'm going to try something. We'll see what happens. Base is what does not bend. The top is what does bend. So it's going to bend between those 2 points. Like that, okay? So that's our first step. Now, let's see. That's going to be moving back and forth. What if I do... I'm going to try and make nulls and parent them to those points. You know what I mean? Because that's the part that... You're roughly about there. All right, so let's go back to that. So that's bender. There's the top and the base. All right, I'm going to try this. I'm going to Alt or Option click on my base. Okay, this is just purely experimental. Use the expression pick whip, not these two. The one, the expression. So going from the base to the base, and then hold down Alt or Option as I click here and go from the top to the top. So we'll see if that works. Okay, that's step 1. Step 2 is the lamp bulb. I'm going to parent to the top instead. So what that means is if these nulls stay and that swings over there, this will follow it. Okay? Let's test it out. Okay, that part did not work. Let's see the nulls. That's the top. Yeah. All right, what would happen if... All right, so that's not gonna work. I have another thought. Let's get rid of those nulls. Okay. Well, let's try this. So I'm going to pre-compose this. I'm going to call it one piece, okay? So we got that. Let's try puppet pins this time. So I'm going to pin what I don't want to move, as well as what I do want to move. So if I swing that, oops, daisy. That is weird. Let's try legacy. That is most odd. That's not working at all. Alright, so we're not going to do any of that. So the chain is to the mount, the bulb is to the chain. This way does work, okay? Now all we did for this one is the bulb is parented to the chain. And I put the chain to the mount just to be on the safe side. So let's see something. So if this goes like this, I want to try something. All right, have a great night. Good weekend. Yep. Right. So I'm going to swing a couple times in a couple directions. Let's see what happens. So here's the first part with the parenting, okay? I know it's really like not huge, but I just want to try something. Let's try a turbulent displace on the chain. That's giving it a little bit of motion because as it moves, it's going to be going through the turbulent field. So let me increase the size and the amount a little bit more. We'll try that again. See the difference? Now we're getting some distortion. That gives it more of an illusion of swaying. So this is working pretty nicely. That's just regular turbulent. Let's try turbulent smoother. That looks okay too, but the default turbulent had better displacement. You know what I mean? Like that's actually looking pretty good. And with your chain, that'd probably look even better. So I would suggest parent the chain to the mount, the bulb to the chain, and try a subtle turbulent displace on the chain layer. All right? Do you want me to send you this for reference?
Yes.
No problem.
Thank you.
No, I know what you're saying. You may need to puppet pin those individual parts, but my puppet pin was not working. But again, I'm using After Effects 2023. So let's try this. Let me go new. Oh, you know what? I'll try. Call it hair. I was at 32-bit. That might have been what it was. Let's hope that's all it was. All right, so let's pretend you've got a strand of hair that looks like this, okay? So it's going to be vector-based. I mean, it's going to be pixel-based. So I'm going to go here, click there, 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 there. Move forward. And And if I box select all but the top one, I can help keep some of the shape. So you get some of that. And just do it nice and slow, and do it for some of those strands. You'll need several just to get nice curves.